What's up everybody? Welcome back to FEvolve's channel. If you're new here, I am Cristina, the owner and founder of FEvolve Fitness. FEvolve Fitness does in-home personal training and virtual personal training in the New Jersey and the New York area. Today we are doing a foam rolling and mobility routine that you can do every day to stay loose or even as movement prep before your exercise. So what exactly is foam rolling? I'm going to tell you. Foam rolling is self-myofascial release, aka SMR, so you've probably heard that before. Essentially, it can relieve muscle soreness and tightness and increase your joint range of motion. People usually overlook foam rolling before or after their workout, but it can be a really amazing tool to use pre-workout or even as your cool down. Foam rolling is totally safe if you experience muscle soreness or tightness or if you just regularly exercise. But you should avoid foam rolling if you have a serious muscle tear or break unless your doctor or physical therapist has cleared you first. So let me show you 4 popular places on the body that you can foam roll before your movement. Then I'm also going to show you 4 different stretches and mobility sequences that you can string together to keep your body a little bit mobile and work on that mobility as well. All of these together, all of these 8 moves are something that I would put in the beginning of a workout. But you can also do it at the end of your workout or even on a rest day or even if you're just watching TV. So follow along or you can pause each one and do them in your own time. But I really hope that this is helpful for you so that you can feel good. That's really the main thing. I want you to feel good. Talk to you later. So here I'm starting with the glutes and the hip rotators. I'm going to sit onto the foam roller and put my right ankle over my left knee. Then I'm going to put my left hand onto the ground behind me. I'm going to roll over to my left hip and begin rolling on that outside of the glute and the hip. You're going to do this for about 30 seconds on each side, and then you can begin to switch sides. It's important that you're really rolled over to that left side so you can really get in there and feel the muscles releasing. Here you've seen me switch sides and I'm doing the same thing on the other side. So here I'm foam rolling the quads. I'm going to lay the front of my left quad on top of the roller. I'm going to have the opposite knee, the right knee, on the ground for support and bent. Then I'm going to roll from the top of the knee to the bottom of my hip. Here I'm about to switch sides. You can do about 30 seconds on each side. And if you start to feel a pressure point, you can or a tight spot, you can stop at that spot and let that muscle sort of floss and release through that tight spot. So here I'm going to be rolling my lats and my posterior shoulder. I'm going to start on my left side. So laying on your left side on top of the roller, extend that left arm overhead. And then you're going to roll that roller under the left armpit and posterior shoulder. Roll from the back of the shoulder up to the top of the rib cage. Try to keep your torso facing the ceiling as much as possible and use the bottom of that left hip to help initiate that roll. Switch sides and repeat for 30 seconds on each side. So here I'm going to be rolling the upper back and thoracic spine. So I'm going to lay down with my upper back or shoulder blades on the roller. You can support your head by placing your hands behind your head with your elbows pointing upwards towards the ceiling. Roll from the upper back to the bottom of your shoulder blades. Do not roll that little notch at the bottom of your neck. You can also put your arms across your body to open up your shoulder blades even more and to get in the rhomboids and the lower traps. This feels amazing. So moving on to our stretching and mobility, we are going to start with our 90-90 hip stretch. Sitting on the floor, you're going to begin with the right hip and knee at 90 degrees in the front and the left hip knee at 90 degrees to the side. The front right leg should be placed in flexion and external rotation. The back left leg should be placed in hip extension and internal rotation. Place your left hand on the right foot and your right hand beside the right knee. And then you're going to fold forward, maintaining a neutral spine and bringing your chest over that front leg. Then you can switch sides. I like to do a little mobility here by keeping the feet where they are and switching the knees from side to side. You can see I've placed my hands behind my head, so I'm using a little bit more core there. If you place your hands behind you, as you see here, you have a little bit more support and you can still switch the knees from side to side and get that hip mobility. Then bending over to each side gets you back into that hip stretch, and then you can do the same thing on the other side. So here we have our Spider-Man stretch. We're going to step the left leg on the outside of your left hand and drop that back right knee to the floor. Placing your shoelaces on the mat on your right leg, you're going to sink your hips down and try to feel your hips opening up here. You can hold this for about 30 seconds, again, on each side, and this you may really feel. So just let yourself sit into the stretch and breathe. Try to breathe in slowly and then breathe out slowly. Feel your hips opening up and try to keep the hips square to the floor. Then when your 30 seconds are up, you can switch sides. So here we have the all fours T-spine rotations, also known as rib rolling. You're going to sit in a child's pose position, putting the hips all the way back to the heels and the hands on the floor in front of your knees. Your spine is going to be in a flexed position. Keeping the right hand down onto the ground, you're going to grab the right side of your rib cage below the chest with your left hand. You're going to use that to help you roll your ribs out up towards the ceiling and then roll the ribs back down as your face comes down towards the mat. You're going to do this about 5 to 6 times on each side, working with your breath, rolling all the way out and then rolling all the way in. You can slowly switch to the other side as you see I have done. And again, I'm working with my breath and really rolling out, looking up to the ceiling, and then exhaling, rolling back in. And one of my favorite things to do is add a little child's pose in there. Moving on to our last mobility exercise, the V-stance T-spine rotations, or rib rolling. You're going to spread your feet as wide as possible, maintaining straight legs, and place both hands on the ground. Similar to the last one, you're going to place your right hand over the left ribs. And then as you see here, I'm rolling my right ribs out towards the ceiling and then back in. So you're going to keep this going along with your breath, inhaling as you roll out, and then exhaling as you roll back in towards your center. Inhaling as you roll out and looking at the ceiling, and then exhaling as you roll back towards your center. This one also gets into your adductors as you're standing in that V stance on the mat. So you'll feel this in multiple places of your body. Feels amazing.